more damage you take on both your individual shield and your allied shield, the more charge you get. And Zarya at 0 charge, it's nothing. You know,
you're tickling. It might as well be like a mini Winston.
It should just be, the graphic should be a feather, you know, and a really soft feather at that. But then when you get to like that 100%, man, that's straight up Ghostbusters beams. You are melting fools with that. So that's exactly where you want to get. And then Graviton wins fights, as long as it doesn't get eaten, which is definitely a possibility.
Yeah, the Diva Matrix, man. We saw both of these Divas, no slouches, just so quick to get the Diva Matrix to eat up those pulse bombs as well in particular. But, I mean, we'll have to keep an eye on things here. You're going to have to be quick on your toes to catch that action because, again, these Divas, they don't mess around. Looking like we will have, well, Meko to start things off here on the Diva for New York. Fury has been subbed, and so we will be seeing the Diva from him.
Yeah, this last point of King's Row, underneath allegedly there's like an Omnic City, but that is so terrifying actually. It looks like a scene from a horror. There's chains hanging from the roof, there's like lava pit below.
So are the Omnics the Morlocks? Is that what's going on here? Is that what's happening? Are they just going to come crawling out?
I suppose I'm not going to cast any judgment on our Omnics friends, mostly because I feel that we'll all be working for robots soon enough. So I'm going to get my ground in there that, hey.
Or not working.
I, for one, welcome our robot overlords.
It's all a simulation. So.
Yeah, defensively, they want to run this Junkrat and Widowmaker composition, which is very good. Junk's going to deal with everything on the ground. Widow's going to have a perch and then make sure that no one can really flank on it. It's going to be very good if London comes out in what they're running, which is going to be a Pharah and a Mercy together. And now it's up to Birdring to be able to snipe Sabiobi. If Birdring can take Sabiobi down, well, not going to happen here.
Yeah,
then the Pharah Mercy can do anything they want. There's absolutely no one who can touch them. Maybe then the Ana has to worry about doing damage rather than healing, and that's a terrible situation. Cool setup here that they're just hanging out with the Orisa. This is an interesting place to set up.
That's a super spicy setup. I love it. I mean, instantly, New York, well, they've got a real clever spot because London, as soon as they saw that setup, they're like, what is this, Anubis? Backing out, changing up, not having any of it. And well, Sabiobi still trying to connect with the shots here, not quite getting the job done on the squish. And well, this is going to allow London Spitfire to get a bit of positioning here.
This is perfect change for London Spitfire, though, to go into this tank-heavy composition where Widow is not going to be able to get all the huge burst damage. Still getting some stuff, but they're going to have shields up. They can actually just use the damage that Junkrat's putting out to charge up Zarya, and eventually they're going to posture on the point. That's a huge kill, though. Lucio out of the fight. That's so much healing gone.
Yeah, a lot of that AoE heals with what you need when you got those big tanks. Birdring, he doesn't want to have anything to do with this. He's still getting hunted. Finally. He's going to be able to make it out of here, but Sabiobi's put himself into a position where perhaps he can catch him.
He's going to take another breather back here. They're also going to have Coalescence here, and that's going to make Orisa's job very difficult. It goes through shields, mind you, heals your team as well. They still don't really have a high ground here to pressure. They might send Fury up in the Coalescence beam to try to just knock them off of their perch.
Yeah, there we go. Birdring some free shots. And well, right out onto the point, forcing them off the high ground. Why not? London Spitfire, they are making progress here eventually. Somebody from New York Excel is going to have to make their way down. The halt into the open, not going to matter. Gestures there with the barrier, and Libero now with the tire, hoping that they stay grouped up. But already, London Spitfire, very quick reactions from them, splitting up, dividing themselves, and they will find the pick on the tire. Libero getting nothing for it. Now the Coalescence is out, full-on Kamehameha, and Hagopun is keeping him alive.
And now where do they even try to come into attack? You can't drop down in the Coalescence. It does a surprising amount of damage. They're getting absolutely bullied off by all these bodies on the point. The hook, the DMAC, this one all but over for the defense, the New York XL.
Super patient work from London. It felt almost inevitable looking at that last push, how clean they are moving together as a unit.
Well, that's what the 3 tanks gives you. It's the slow, undeniable inevitability of a glacier coming in. You're not going to stop it. It might be slower, but it's going to happen eventually. You need to make switches on it to be able to deal with it. Sabiobi off of the Widow. That's smart. Tracer, you may not think she's great against tanks, but they farm her pulse bombs so often, and they're such easy targets to hit. London should be trying to kind of cavalcade this into, let's use Earthshatter one fight, and then we'll use Zarya on the next fight, and you can kind of stagger those ultimates. I wonder where this Nano Boost is going to go for New York.
Oh! No way! Unbelievable! He gets knocked out of the path! Gesture definitely thought he was going to have the charge there and the pin, but it wasn't meant to be. Earthshatter will start the push, but well, they are definitely going to end it. The barrier is there from the Zarya and the shield here for Gesture to keep himself alive through that self-destruct. They do keep the presence going here on the point, although they decide to give just a little bit of ground here. London Spitfire regrouping.
He will push them back. Libero does end up taking down Prophet, but he was killed during the channeling of that tire as well. So this is going to still be going forward. And now exactly what I said. That Earthshooter didn't necessarily find what they were looking for, but now they have Grab to fall back on.
Yeah, you can layer those ults, and well, they're looking to try and catch the guys in the back line here. Bit of a spicy place to be if you're Janus, but he is going to be able to back out. He's got the primal to keep him alive and just kind of leaping all over the place. Angry.
Fury's going to go in here, maybe once D-Mac. There's the grab, catches a couple, but not necessarily everything they want. But the damage comes in late enough. Still a nice swing back here from NYXL. The DPS really stepping up. Takedown 2, takedown 3. A D-Mac towards the end will not matter. New York still holding strong in the streets phase. A little over 2 minutes remain.
But nice work there from Janus to get that shield down immediately as the grab came in. Mitigated a lot of damage despite the tire. I mean, they had to fully commit the wombo combo in their London Spitfire, and now they're stuck recharging ultimates. Don't have a whole lot of work, or a lot to work with, rather, going into this next push. New York Excel, however, have got the Nano.
Well, they've changed their entire composition, and that's the right time to change. It's the 2-minute warning. You want to change your comp so you can get ult up that. And nice Nano. This Winston's going to do a ton of damage if he can live through it.
Janus, more than happy to fry him. Wow, I mean, dude, this is really solid coming in here from New York Excel. They are not allowing London Spitfire to get much of a foothold at all.
A little bit of a zoning Nano there, just got everyone pushed back, and that's as good as winning the fight if it drops them back. 90 seconds now, should be 1 or 2 more attempts at this before London, who's just trying to bank ultimates at this point.
Hoping to have a wombo, perhaps, of their own. Fury has got the self-destruct. He could decide to chuck it in there, but Saviobi will win the duel versus Birdring. That's a fantastic start for New York Excel. Libero is here, just launch at the mines and point blank as well. A little bit of an opportunity there missed, but doesn't really matter because he's still got the tire. He could be waiting for it there exactly. The trap, perhaps, keep his flank protected when he decides to commit.
Just a really good job of staying even on those ultimates there. They noticed that barrier was used, so they used a transcendence of their own so that they could stand there and fight. Transcendence is almost as good as barrier here because everyone's going to be fighting in the same spot. Tire takes down Gesture, who was looking for the source.
That's fine, because now you're going to have Libero with the follow-up on Birdring. There's Prophet going for the big kills. He finds his target. Jonak is gone. There's the Ana. Doesn't quite get it, though. He will be forced back. Perhaps thought that he could get that follow-up kill. That would have been big. Instead, he's forced to give ground.
Sent to the moon by a nice concussion mine there, and we're down to the last push for the London Spitfire. They've burned everything they had coming into this. They're going to need a pulse bomb. A Primal Rage can at least stall this out, though, and allow them to get towards the position of getting a good pulse bomb. But right now, they're going to have to push into a Nano as well. Nano's going to pick his target, decides whoever he wants to give more damage to. It's generally going to go into the Winston in this composition.
They are starting to make their way forward. Exactly. Bam doesn't waste any time at all. Janus now boosted. He's going after the juicy targets. Hagafun, he doesn't want to have anything to do with this. Desperately floating. He can't float any faster, but he does have the boost there. Big play coming in from closer to keep his teammate alive.
His best friend was all the corners in those hallways right around the corner every time. Does not take critical damage, and because of that, London Spitfire will snag the fight and push 2 to the point. Spawn's pretty far away now for NYXL. Going to be difficult for them to get in a proper position to fight this. They could throw bodies at it, but it might end up being a mistake given how far they're pushed back. Second point will be taken, and they will get an extension on their time bank.
One clean fight, that's all they wanted. We have the tire on the way. You hear it,
too.
rolling, Libero. Oh, he gets the D-Mech, it looks like, but the self-destruct is up for Fury. Doesn't matter, and they get off the point. What? Just long enough.
I cast or curse that so hard. My apologies to everyone at home and on stage and playing right now. I thought they had that. I didn't even think New York was going to come back and fight that because they were going to be in a rough spot. They got their tanks there in time. The pressure from the Tracer was alleviated, pulled back to the cart, thinking perhaps that they were going to get it for free anyway. That can't happen. But you know what? I'm actually not surprised because it has happened to London before.
Wow, Jack is definitely kind of face-palming right now.
Reprint the sign.
Reprint the sign. I mean, I hope they have magic marker on that. You know, it's not permanent. They have to, let's think of the paper. Don't want to waste the paper. Get it done with like a magic marker.
Yeah, I think even dry erase might be a little too permanent for Alpha. They have to change that. You might as well just get tear-away paper or at least a pencil or something.
Pencil, yeah, with the erase. Let's go old-fashioned. Let's go way back. Wow, this is definitely something that London, you know, they've still got to shake off.
That's
hurts
rough.
just a little bit. That is brutal. Because you're thinking, man, we finally did it. We won the fight. Let's go, boys. We got it. We're still in. Oh, wait, never mind. Time to swap and time for us to go on the defense. And, well, we'll see if they're going to be able to stop New York. New York only need the 2 points now. A single point picked up for London Spitfire in the first half.
Seems like they're running the same defense that New York ran, so we may see kind of a new strategy developing here on Kings in the Overwatch League. Cool to see that Orissa's getting some play here.
Exactly what we want to see. I mean, we're gonna have to keep coming up with names for this because this could still be the high horse, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
it could still be the high horse.
It's about as high as you can get on Kings Row,
Yeah.
anyway.
You can't really use the May, I guess, to get there any higher. And then would that be useful?
I mean, the high horse would be like way up top here.
Yeah.
There would be the highest of horses.
Okay, fine. So are we gonna go with the Shetland then?
The little Sebastian.
Yeah, little Sebastian. This is the strat. We will have Orisa making her way out onto the little balcony here, dropping the barrier. I like it though, the scatter arrow right in. No barrier here, have a bunch of damage.
No chill. He's just out there for the sonic arrow, and then he sees a juicy target. Might as well fire that scatter arrow there. Able to do so much damage.
That's the bane of Orisa's existence.
All for naught. Eventually, she will get healed up, but so close.
Oh, that was fun. That would have been so brutal if it actually connected full on with Orisa, and then it's like, oh, well, sorry, Gesture, you're done, you're out.
New York has seen where their opponents are set up, and they're going to go for an entirely different strategy than London did to try to crack this. They are transitioning into a full dive composition. They want to get to high ground and take this round away rather than forcing the low ground fight with tanks.
No, you can see it clearly there. Birdring repositioning, hoping to catch somebody out here in the open as his tanks go chomping in. There are some squishies, but they're doing a very good job here from New York of closing those sightlines, making it difficult for Birdring to have any effect at all with the sniper rifle. Forced up, and Gesture just decides to take the fight to the low ground. This is it. Hold on the corner behind the Orisa shield and just head up that hard point defense, make life difficult for New York.
London did a fantastic job of a soft hold there. As soon as the dive came in, they backed up, but not entirely. They backed up about 4 feet, then they moved to the other ledge, just bought them enough space and time for the healers to do everything that they needed to do to keep the tanks up. Both tanks remained up. You saw Fury put a little pressure on with a little dipsy doodle up and dive back into behind the shield. And now, because of all the damage they took during that dive, the support ultimates are almost online.
Infocide is up, as you guys can see. Birdring can see through walls. That was the shot right there. Had he been able to clip Sivioli, that would have been a big kill. That has to change it up. He does get quite a bit of damage into Jonak there, and Jonak will get followed up on. Gesture finds that frag. And so far, London Spitfire, they've taken the fight to the low ground, but they are holding, and there we go. That was just insult to injury. The fight was already over, but Birdring gonna feel pretty good about that one. And that one. There's the stagger.
That's a little bit rough, though. New York may be feeling okay about that because they forced out a Valkyrie that maybe wasn't entirely necessary, but the problem is their DPS are going to have to try to get a blade going into a Transcendence. Not going to be ideal. If you could script this for New York, you would like to Pulse Bomb the Zenyatta, get the Transcendence out, and then come in with Blade, but they are quickly running out of time.
Not a whole lot. Down to 1.5 minutes here. New York trying to find an angle of attack. Libero has got his Dragon Blade. Could be looking for the opening. He's definitely in, and there we go. Dragon Blade is out. Gets on a Birdring. Perfect target. Finally connects. Took a little bit longer there than necessary. There we go. Libero gonna be happy about that. Finally getting some value from the blades.
That's the only thing that was lacking from his game previously. His straight up vanilla Genji play was fine, but it was just the blades that came up a little bit short. Does not matter. Cleans it up. The range of the blade really working against Junkrat in that situation. Generally, it's Junkrat's targets who are stationary, but when he's channeling that tire, he's got to use all of his mental force to, mind control that tire. I'm not entirely sure how that works. And he's just sitting there, absolutely beautiful.
I'm just picturing a world where he took one extra step before doing the tire, and Rob is just there with the blade, just swinging, can't get the kill, just out of reach. It's like the cookie jar on the top of the fridge, and it just can't get up there.
The thing is, once it's channeled, you can't just put it away to get your primary fire out. So he was left to his own devices, hoping that the blade would be able to hit there. This is a beautiful switch from Libero. I love Farah on second point here, especially against what they're going up against. There is no one who should be able to touch Farah here.
Yeah, she will have the skies to herself. New York Excel winning the dogfight. And well, now, look at where they have to push that cart, the rectangle, right there, within striking distance now as the cart makes progress. Mano, Meko, and Jonak ferrying it closer. And Libero will be there to work with Sabioli to find the kill on Prophet. That will make life difficult here for London Spitfire. Prophet has got a long way to run to get back into this fight.
It's the difference of their aggression. When London was trying to push forward on this point, they only sent the Tracer. This time they sent the Tracer, the Pharah, and the Winston together. They clean up a kill. Now it's a 6v5.
Oh, I'm loving the self-destruct though. This could be tasty. And there we go. Sure enough, Janice can't get out of the angle. Trance is there, however, to bring Meko back up to full, but oh, that was sick from Hagopian. He delayed his long enough here to perhaps give London Spitfire the edge that they need to turn the tide, to withstand the attack. Sabioli caught in the corner, nowhere to go, and doing the best that he can to stay in this.
Well, it's not over yet. New York has still lost very little here, whereas they got a kill of their own, so they're still fighting with an advantage. The tanks are just trying to stay alive, peppering damage. This barrage could seal the deal. Problem is he needs D.Va out of mech. He gets out of mech. Here should be the ceiling barrage, if they even need it.
They don't. I mean, now that's the style barrage. He's even getting boosted. The BM coming out from New York at the end. Throwing it all in because they know they've got it in the bag. New York, Excel take the lead in this series. 2-1. Some fine work indeed.
Libero flexing his hero pool. The Genji did well that round. The Pharah was a great pick. I just like the decisive nature in which they picked. They're like, all right, that's over. Now we're going to this comp.